and welcome to the Auto Today YouTube channel. My name is Dhruv and the star of today's video is a car that treads the middle ground between a regular E-Class and the manic E63 AMG. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 2021 Mercedes-AMG E53 4MATIC Plus. Now this car is supposed to fuse the good practical bits of an E-Class with the wild nature of the hottest E there is. And that to me sounds like a very interesting recipe because this should do the daily grind comfortably and should be just as comfortable out on a racetrack. Well, we're here to find out if it does all of that. But before we get to any of those things, as always, do remember to subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon to get notified every time a new video goes up on Auto Today. Visually, the E53 follows a very understated approach. The biggest giveaway between this and the regular E-Class is the fact that this is built on the standard wheelbase. The E-Class we get in India is a long wheelbase only model, so one look at the side profile and you'll know this is not your regular E-Class. And if that doesn't tell you, then that Pan Americana grille up front will, those AMG specific alloys which I personally don't like, but that's a personal opinion, they will, or those quad pipes at the back and those badges of course will tell you that this is an AMG. But again, like I said, it's a very understated approach. So if in case the looks of the car don't turn enough heads, the sound definitely will, because one tap of the throttle and the engine opens up and it sounds so good. And there's enough crackles and pops to, get the attention of fellow road users. For the interiors, again, Mercedes has incorporated some very AMG specific sporty touches. So you get contrast red stitching, these fancy red seat belts and AMG seats as well with a fair healthy dose of Alcantara and leather mixture. The dials, again, the displays, the twin displays are similar to the E-Class, but this is an AMG, so you get an AMG specific display for the instrument panel and you get some AMG settings in the main touchscreen infotainment unit as well, including whole suite of apps which help you time your laps around the track. You can even upload a full circuit map on it and it will show you the best possible racing line to take and help you improve your laps if you take your E53 to the track. Features wise, the car is fairly loaded. You get a Burmester audio setup, you get electrically adjustable seats of course with memory function, there's seat heating as well, there's a fairly large sunroof as you can see, and luxury wise the E53 manages to tick all the right boxes. Visually, I said it's an understated approach, but works for me, and that is the whole point of these souped up sedans anyway, that they don't attract that much attention, but once you put your foot down, people will know for sure that this is no regular E-Class. The engine in the E53 benefits from a 48-volt mild hybrid setup, which includes an integrated starter generator and also helps initial thrust, adding about 250 Newton meters of torque. There is also an electric supercharger which helps cut out turbo lag, which will be present because this is a turbocharged petrol motor after all. The result of all that is very brisk acceleration. 0 to 100 comes up in just 4.5 seconds. And like I said, the power and torque figures are ample and all you need to do is put your foot down to experience just how big the car is. Aside from all those things, like I said at the starting of the video, this treads the middle ground between an E-Class and an E63. So the comfort levels are much more city friendly, much better suited to our roads compared to say an E63, which will obviously be stiffer. Even in the most extreme setting, which is Sport Plus, which makes the AMG suspension get all taut and track ready, the car still remains comfortable, which is a very good thing. That's how it helps you tackle your daily grind, your daily city urban driving and covering bad roads. And of course, if you've got a track in your neighborhood, you can always head there and drive the wheels of this car and you will be quite happy. The turbocharged straight 6 loves to rev and the 9-speed gearbox performs seamlessly, and with the peak torque available right from 1800 rpm all the way up to 5800 rpm, the E53 just pulls and pulls. Aside from performance-oriented Sport and Sport Plus modes, there's Comfort mode, which sets the car up to deliver exactly what the name suggests, Slippery mode for low traction conditions, and Individual mode that lets you customize powertrain, suspension, steering settings as per your liking. As the 4MATIC Plus in the nomenclature indicates,
Power is sent to all four wheels, and through corners the E53 offers loads of grip. However, punching the throttle mid-corner will not have the car hanging its tail out. That's the E63's forte.
Like I said at the start of the video, it treads the middle ground between an E-Class and an E63, so it does the comfort bit really well. In comfort mode, the suspension is at its softest, and it does a fine job of tackling our terrible roads. And if you want to head out to the track or just actually enjoy a drive through a ghat section or through some twisties, then you can always turn it up to Sport Plus, make it firmer, and you will generally enjoy driving this car. Of course, compared to something like an E63, there is more body roll. It's not as taut, it's not as quick through corners, but again, like I said, it's more than ample in my humble opinion. And the car as such does not really have too many flaws. It is expensive, of course, but what were you expecting from a fully imported AMG model, right? It's above 1 crore, but again, it's compared to like the E63, this is a whole E-Class cheaper than the E63 AMG. And the problem actually is not a problem as such, but something that might not sit well with purists and AMG fanboys is the fact that this bears an AMG badge, because it's not as manic as like an E63 or the AMGs of yore, the ones that made a name for themselves by biting you hard if you put a foot wrong or if you weren't too careful with what you were doing. And it doesn't get the hand-built AMG V8 with the plaque on it with the signature of the engineer who built it. So those aspects might not sit well with some people, but again, AMG ethos, it does sort of fulfill with its performance, the way it handles, the way it behaves. And overall, the E53 does the job of offering you regular, comfortable ride through your day-to-day grind and being high on performance and offering you that excitement, that ability to, plaster a smile across your face every time you take a corner, every time you drive with enthusiasm or head to the track. For me personally, cars like this one, the E53, which are somewhere between the regular E and the E63, they just make so much sense. They're so much more practical. The power and the performance is so much more usable.
What do you think of the Mercedes-AMG E53? If you've got any thoughts and opinions on the car or this video, feel free to share them in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe.